Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday celebration of Unity of Ready. I'm Reverend Nancy Clark, and today is Sunday, August 23rd. Today's daily word is inner peace. The peace of God fills my mind, my heart, and my life. Quiet moments in a fragrant garden, a stroll by a lake or stream, or a visit to any place of beauty inspires a deep awareness of peace. I also enjoy peace in the company of friends, those with whom I have easy camaraderie and deep bonds. Growing in spiritual awareness, I claim inner peace wherever I am. True inner peace comes from deep within me. If I am feeling less than peaceful, I pause and breathe out worry, fear, and unhealthy concern, giving my full attention to the divine presence within me. I breathe in a peace that soothes my emotions, calms my thoughts, and relaxes my body. As I continue to inhale peace and exhale concern, I move forward with renewed clarity and confidence. And from Isaiah 26:3, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. So Thursday evenings at our Thursday Quench, our discussion group has been talking about the book The Four Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom written by Don Miguel Ruiz. Our discussions have brought great insight, and I thought it would be a great message to share with everyone else because a lot of our spiritual growth comes from questioning and really taking a look at ourselves and how we might change. The book is based on Toltec wisdom, and the basic belief is that our ultimate reward is to transcend the human experience of suffering to become the embodiment of God. Similar to that statement is the belief of unity that our ultimate reward is to achieve Christ consciousness. We honor God through loving ourselves, our bodies, and everything and everyone around us. The book begins explaining that as babies we are free with the normal tendency to enjoy life, to play, to explore it, to be happy, and to love. And if you remember, Jesus even told us that to enter the kingdom of heaven, we must become as little children. In the book of Thomas, Jesus was quoted, "The man aged in days will not hesitate to ask a little child of 7 days about the place of life, and he shall live." Jesus was also quoted as saying, "Be in this world, but not of it." An infant is not involved in or attached to the world. A babe of 7 days old is not in bondage to name, form, or limited self-identity. He has not yet formed his beliefs about himself, others, and the world. Such a soul is undistracted and moves freely between worlds, neither bound to one nor forgetting the other, but naturally near to the source of life and of light. If a small child of 7 days old, as yet uncorrupted by the mind of the world, could speak, surely wisdom would pour forth, a wisdom people of the world would think kind of folly and useless. Yet such wisdom would come directly from the innermost part of the soul and God itself. Raz explains in his books, as humans grow, we become, quote, what he calls domesticated by adults through punishment and rewards. We know that as we grow, we create our self-identity, and psychologists even say that by the age of 7 years old, we already have our beliefs set about ourselves, others, and the world around us. These beliefs were made by watching others, listening to what they say about us and about the world. This is what Ruiz calls domestication, forming a set of beliefs based on the beliefs of others and on our society. Have you ever thought about what a belief is? A belief is merely an idea that you have accepted as true. It doesn't mean that it is true, it just means you have accepted it as true, or you agreed to it being true. Therefore, the Book of Agreements calls every belief and everything that we have accepted as true an agreement. What we agreed to becomes our book of law, or our belief system. Once we have our belief system set about our self-identity, we use our book of laws to live our life. Our book of laws tells us how we should look, how we should act, what we should do, how others should look, act, and do, and how the world should be. To enforce our belief system or our book of law, we create two parts of ourselves, the judge and the victim. This way, we continue to enforce our agreements with rewards and punishments. Our inner judge casts blame, and then our victim carries around shame and guilt. In this way, we can beat up on ourselves and create our own inner hell. And I think some of us can relate to the part about being up on ourselves when we don't live by our own book of law. We create our book of laws, and then we spend all our energy backing them up, proving them and living them. We know that psychology backs this up also with what's called the self-fulfilling prophecy. Psychologists have found strong evidence for the impact of our beliefs and expectations on outcomes, particularly when we are convinced that our perceptions will manifest, even when we aren't aware that we hold these expectations. The most important agreements are the ones that we have made with ourselves about ourselves. In these agreements, we tell ourselves who we are, what we feel, what to believe, and how to behave. These agreements create our personality and our self-identity. So the bottom line is, among our most important beliefs are those that we hold about who we are. So I would like to take this time to have you think a little bit about your own self-identity. What are your beliefs, and what have you written in your own book of law? Try to recall your earliest memories of what your mother, your father, and your closest family members told you about yourself. Then consider what other people outside your family projected onto you. Pay close attention to your emotional response to each of these things that come up. Ask yourself what is written in your book of law. What type of personal agreements have you made with yourself regarding your body, your personal appearance, your health and diet, your masculinity or femininity? What social agreements have you made regarding family and friends, sex and love, marriage and family, friendships and social interactions? What agreements have you made with yourself regarding life and God, death and loss? What kind of financial agreements have you made with yourself as far as work, career, what your unique skills and talents are, money and financial matters, your success or your failure? Make a list of qualities that you think you lack and you wish you had. Describe your image of perfection. If you were perfect, what would you look like? What type of personality would you have? Is it humanly possible to attain the image of perfection that you are holding? Does your image of perfection inspire you, or does you to do your best, or does it merely discourage you? We need to realize that our image of perfection is the reason that we reject ourselves. It is the reasons we don't accept ourselves and the way we are, and why we cannot accept others the way they are either. What is your image of perfection for other people in your life? Your children, your partner, your friends, your coworkers. We judge others by our image of perfection as well. Naturally, we all fall short of our expectations. We know that we are not what we believe we are supposed to be, and so we feel false, frustrated, and dishonest. We try to hide ourselves, and we pretend to be what we're not. This is as old as Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The result is that we feel unauthentic, and we wear social masks to keep others from noticing this. So I ask you, what social masks do you wear around others? Do you wear these masks because you are afraid of what other people might judge you? What would happen if you took off that mask? What would it be like to express who you really, truly are? I encourage you to become aware of the agreements which now govern your life. Begin a journal to record these agreements as you become aware of them. This is your book of law. Once you understand what's written in your book of law, you can understand how and why you judge yourself and what makes you feel like a bad person, what makes you feel ashamed of yourself, what makes you feel guilty, and what you believe makes others look stupid. You can also realize how you judge others. What makes them a bad person? Why should they be ashamed of themselves? You better understand why and how we judge the world. You might also realize how all of these agreements bring about some emotion as we judge ourselves, others in the world, either good or bad, or right or wrong. Which of these agreements come from fear, and which of these agreements come from love? Think about the limitations that you were told that you had. Think about when you were a child. What did others tell you what it meant to be a boy or a girl? Did you fit the image of what it meant to be a boy or a girl? What do you believe today about being a mother, a woman, a man, or a father? Make a list of the qualities that you were told that you should have, both physical and personal. Make a list of the qualities you believe that you do have and those you don't. What were you told that you should do in life? What do you believe will make you a success or a failure? How many people have climbed the ladder to success on what they were told they should do, and when they got to the top of the ladder, they realized it was the wrong ladder for them? Many of us live life by the book of law, which are the beliefs and expectations and the thoughts of others that we have agreed to and that others put on to us. Self-identity is the strongest force in human personality. We all have a deep and abiding need to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. Identity is the most important power that determines our actions. We will act according to our views of who we believe we are, whether those views are accurate or not. Trying to live in the way that is inconsistent with our true nature will create a life of frustration, stress, and disappointment. Sometimes people maintain the illusion that their behavior decides who they really are. Nothing could be further from the truth. We all have experienced moments of anxiety and defeat, and as a result have said or done things that do not reflect who we are. This does not make those behaviors a part of our identity. Rather, they are momentary lapses or unique attempts to meet our need in the moment. So take this time to think about your own self-identity. What are the agreements that you have made about yourself that really don't serve you at all? What are the things you have accepted about yourself to be true, and they really aren't true? One truth you can accept is this: we are spiritual beings living a human existence, and that makes us powerful creators. We have our creations invested in our beliefs. The function of the human mind is to dream, but we have learned to dream without awareness. Freedom comes from the ability to, again, use our own mind and body to live our lives instead of living the life of the belief system, the life of other people's ideas, and the life of our own book of law. To find your authentic self, you must uncover the limiting agreements you have made about yourself. Remember that it is not a matter of whether a piece of knowledge is true or not. Once we believe it and accept it, it becomes true for us. We all contain the power to reinvent ourselves and create a new, empowered identity that expands what is possible in our lives. The key is to take conscious control of the beliefs we are creating about ourselves so that they propel us towards what we desire the most. Any transformation you make within yourself will depend on your ability to expand this identity. By building a new, empowering set of beliefs, a new book of law, you can create a lasting transformation within yourself and within your life. Our personal identities are in consistent state of evolution. We are here to grow spiritually, to grow closer to Christ consciousness, and to truly know who we are. People have enormous capabilities beyond what's thought to be possible. Jesus stated, "All that I have done, you can do also, and even greater works." The power to tap into our tremendous potential comes from our identity, how we define ourselves, and what we believe we can achieve through our Christ nature. Remember, I of myself can do nothing, but with God, all things are possible. The very first agreement or belief we need to take a look at is how to change our concept of who we are. We need to see ourselves as God sees us. The Bible tells us a story of when Jesus' mother and his brothers came to him, but they could not reach him because of the crowd. And he was told, "Your mother and your brothers are standing outside, desiring to see you." Jesus looked around and put his arms out, and he answered, "My mother and my brothers are those who hear the word of God and do it." Jesus was talking about you and me. For spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. How would your life change today, this very minute, if you honestly believed this? If you knew you were a child of God and an heir to the kingdom? It's time to realize who we are. We are co-creators of life. We're joint heirs with Christ to God's kingdom. We need to take on the responsibility to look at all those beliefs and agreements that no longer serve us, those that create judgment, fear, and prejudice. And we need to make a commitment to create new agreements of truth, agreements which empower us to live to our highest potential. To find our authentic self, our spiritual nature, we must uncover the limiting agreements we have made about ourselves and make a conscious decision to create new, empowering agreements. Our inner being knows who we are and is already and willing to reveal our true nature to us if we ask. Once we know who we are, we must learn to be ourselves. We must learn to embrace our deepest needs, desires, strengths, and truths regarding ourselves to create harmony and tap into our tremendous God potential. Next week, I will continue this message explaining the 4 new agreements that Ruiz encourages us to make with ourselves. New empowering agreements, which have been taught for ages from all the spiritual teachers, especially Jesus. These new agreements are taught throughout the Bible and will help you create a new self-identity, living through our spiritual nature and bringing us closer to Christ consciousness. I hope this message today has stimulated you to look at yourself, to identify those agreements that you have made in the past, those beliefs which no longer serve you, and become willing to let them go and to make room for new, empowering agreements and beliefs. The book of your life is being written with a new page every day. We can create the type of book that we want to publish, the type of life that we want to live. We have been granted free will to be who and what we truly, truly want to be. We must first realize we are powerful spiritual beings living a human existence. We were created in the image and the likeness of God. We are brothers and sisters of Christ. We are heir to the kingdom of God. It is time to write our book of law with truth, not the world's truth, but God's truth, and to truly, truly know who we are. And so it is. I would like to take some of these thoughts into meditation now. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Wherever you are, focus on your breathing. Breathe in the Spirit of God. Breathe in peace, truth, love, and joy. And as you exhale, relax. Feel the Spirit flow throughout your body with every inhale. With every exhale, feel your body and your mind relax into deeper state. Feel yourself let go of all the anxieties, the worries, the thoughts that are in your mind right now. For at this moment, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just a time to be present in the awareness of God. To be present to the inner being, the Spirit of God within you. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. To shut out the world even more, as Jesus taught us, go into the closet and shut your door. For as we speak in the silence, God hears us and knows our deepest thoughts, our deepest feelings. For God recognizes who we are, even though sometimes we do not. Know that your inner being knows that you are a powerful, powerful, creative, spiritual being. I invite you to ask your inner being to bring to the surface of your mind those agreements you have made about yourself that are not true. Things that you have accepted because others have told you that. Things that are limiting you. Perhaps you were told you weren't smart enough, you weren't good enough. Perhaps you were told women couldn't do that, men couldn't do that. All of these agreements, these belief systems that you hold now, that are holding you back. I invite you to allow your inner being to expose that. Bring it to the surface and be willing to let it go so that you can be who you truly are. So that you can live life to your fullest potential. Make a commitment as you go through your days in the future to recognize all those things that you tell yourself that aren't true. Remind yourself always, I am a child of God. I'm a brother or sister to Christ. I'm heir to God's kingdom. I'm a powerful creator. For I am love. I'm God's peace. I am joy. I am success. I am happiness. I invite you in the stillness of this time to ask your inner being to reveal who you truly are. Feel your inner being reveal the power that's inside of you. Open your mind to the ideas, the truths of God. To really, truly know who you are. Know that your true identity is a spiritual being. Your true nature is a Christ nature. Call forth the presence of God inside and ask for guidance to live the truth of who you are. Know that as you live the truth of who you are, you will realize that you of yourself could do nothing, but with God all things are possible. Ask to be shown and to feel this power. Ask to be shown and to feel the love that you are. Ask to be shown and feel the joy that's willing and waiting for you to experience. Know that there is something deeper inside of you, something willing and waiting to come out. Make a conscious decision to put away those agreements that no longer serve you and allow this potential to flourish and to come forth. Make a commitment to yourself to only hear the truth from your inner being. To accept new beliefs about others, about the world, and about who you are. Beliefs filled with love. Know that no matter what, you're perfect in the eyes of God. As is everyone else perfect in the eyes of God, and the world is perfect in the eyes of God. Make a commitment to set aside your current book of laws, the book that you use to blame and shame yourself, to judge yourself. And make a commitment to only judge through the eyes of God. And through the eyes of God, there is no wrong. There's only love and acceptance. As you take this time in the quiet, feel your inner power well up from inside. Feel that power energize every cell of your body. Feel that power circulate through your body. Feel that power come forth from your heart in the form of love, of acceptance, of harmony, of peace. Ask your inner being to show you throughout this week those things that you need to let go of, those things that no longer serve you, those beliefs and agreements that you have made that are holding you back or limiting you or judging you and others. And make a commitment this week to be willing to let go and to make a new set of agreements. Agreements that will empower you. Agreements that will help you know who you are. Agreements that are the truth about yourself, about others in the world. As you make this commitment, feel lightness in your body, knowing that you are doing a good thing and you're becoming closer and closer to Christ consciousness. Take this time to express gratitude to yourself, to all those in your life that did the best that they could. Forgive if you need to forgive, accept if you need to accept. But though there is no judgment in the eyes of God, all things happened for you and brought you to this holy moment, to this moment of change, this moment of empowerment. Give gratitude for those who have helped you make empowering agreements. And especially show gratitude to yourself. Forgive yourself for all those wrong judgments you made about yourself. Forgive others for the wrong judgments you have made on them. Send love and peace and joy out through your heart into the world. Feel it coming back. This is who you are. As we take a few moments before we leave this meditation, fill your mind with the truths of who you are. You are created in the image and the likeness of God. God is love, therefore you are love. God is power, therefore you are power. God is peace, therefore you are peaceful. See a brighter future ahead. Feel the empowerment in your mind and your body. Make a commitment to follow the leadings of your inner being, who will help you see the truth about yourself, others, and the world. And know that all is in divine order. And therefore, every minute, every day, all is truly well. And so it is. I'd like you to take a few deep breaths. You can start moving your body, wiggling your toes. Feel the atmosphere around you. Come back into the place where you're sitting. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and give gratitude for making a commitment to write a new book of laws. And so it is. Amen. And we will see you next week to make your 4 new agreements.